Whether it's terrifying sea monsters, sky dragons, or forgotten beasts of the Ice Age, these weren't just stories. Many of these mythical creatures were real, inspired by fossils, strange sightings, and ancient encounters. They once walked the earth. Today, we're counting down 40 mythical creatures that really existed. Number 40, Fenrir. In Norse mythology, Fenrir was a wolf so massive it could swallow the sun. But during the Ice Age, real giants roamed dire wolves. Wolves? They were 25% bigger than today's Wolvosaps predators that hunted giant prey. When their food disappeared, so did they. But their legend lived on as Number 39, the four-tusked elephant. Hindu legends tell of elephants with four tusks. Ridden by gods. Fiction, not really. Millions of years ago, Gomphithias walked the Earthgen elephants with two pairs of tusks. Early humans may have seen their fossils and turned them into legend. Number 38, the Mapingwari. Amazon tribes speak of a giant jungle guardian with a single eye and a mouth on its belly. Sounds strange? That's because the myth may have come from giant ground sloths. These elephant-sized beasts vanished 11,000 years ago. But not from memory. Number 37, the griffin half-eagle, half-lionth guardian of gold. But ancient fossils tell another story. Early people found skulls of Protoceratops dinosaurs with beaks like birds and bodies like lions. It's easy to see how the griffin was born. Number 36, the Kappa, Japan's turtle-like monster that drags humans into water. But long ago, real giants like Archelon existed turtles over 15 feet long. If you saw one, you'd swear it was a Kappa. Number 35, the bloop. In 1997, microphones picked up a sound louder than any whale. Some thought it was a monster. In truth, it was melting icebergs. But long before, oceans had real jaunts-like lead-sichthies. A fish bigger than a bus dot. Number 34, the Kraken sailors feared a monster with tentacles that dragged ships down. Turns out, giant squids exist up to 43 feet long, rarely seen, but real. The Kraken wasn't just a story, it was science we hadn't caught up to yet. Number 33, Leviathan, mentioned in the Bible, feared across cultures. But fossils show a giant whale. Leviathan Melville once battled megalodons. It had teeth as long as your hand. The Leviathan was very real. Number 32, Loch Ness Monster. For centuries, people swore they saw a long-necked beast in Scotland's lake. Science says, mistaken identity. But the oceans once had plesiosaur marine reptiles with necks longer than giraffes. They ruled seas for 150 million years. Number 31. The sea-eater legends tell of a creature the size of a mountain that swallows islands. No proof has been found. But ancient mega-tsunamis and volcanic eruptions may have inspired the tale. Number 30, werewolves. Stories of men turning into wolves spread for centuries. But diseases like rabies and conditions like hypertrichosis, where hair covers the body, turned people into monsters. Number 29 trolls ugly giants hiding in caves. But in truth, ancient humans lived alongside Neanderthal short, strong, and strange looking. When they disappeared, legends turned them into trolls. Number 28 Cyclops A, Oni giant from Greek tales. But really, mammoth skulls have a giant hole in the middle where the trunk was. To the Greeks, it looked like legends. Understood through ancient eyes. Number 27. Unicorns, Elasmotherium. The unicorn a horse with a single horn feels like pure fantasy. But 40,000 years ago, the Ice Age hosted a real-life unicorn, Elasmotherium. This rhino-like beast stood 6 feet tall and carried a horn up to 7 feet long. Early humans painted them in cave art and may have even hunted them. Their extinction likely fueled myths of a magical horned beast that could never be tamed. Unicorns weren't just fairy tales, they were hunted into legend. Number 26. Hydra and Cthulhu, immortal creatures and giant squids. The Greek Hydra was a water serpent with many heads, got one off, and 2 more grew back. Sounds impossible until you meet the real Hydra. This tiny freshwater animal, it's only millimeters long, has regenerative abilities so extreme it's considered biologically immortal. It may never die of old age. Meanwhile, another terrifying myth, a cosmic monster, Cthulhu, chose something real too, ancient Tusseteuthis, a giant squid-like creature that prowled prehistoric oceans 40 feet long. These real-life horrors prove that sometimes truth is stranger than myth. Number 25. The Bunyip Australian megafauna, deep in the swamps of Australia. Aboriginal stories warn of the bunyip, a monstrous predator lurking in dark waters. Descriptions vary. Sometimes a seal-like creature, sometimes a huge wombat-shaped beast with a terrifying scream. But these tales may be echoes of Australia's ancient megafauna. 60,000 years ago, humans coexisted with giants like Diprotodon, a wombat the size of a car, and Megalania, a lizard bigger than a Komodo dragon. To the first Australians, these creatures were real. When they vanished, their shadows remained. In stories as the BUNYIP. Number 24, the Chupacabra, mysterious killings in 1995. Puerto Rican farmers found their goats drained of blood, punctured by 2 strange holes. Locals named the killer Chupacabra, or goat sucker. Witnesses described it as part alien, part reptile, part dog. But investigations revealed most sightings were diseased coyotes suffering from mange, hairless, fanged, and terrifying in the dark. Still, the neat, bloodless wounds on animals remain unexplained. Was it just disease or something more? It may be modern mythology, but it spread worldwide in record time. Number 23. The Jersey Devil, colonial America's monster since 1735. People in New Jersey's Pine Barrens have feared the Jersey Devil, a creature with bat wings, cloven hooves, and a horse's head. Legend says it was the cursed 13th child of a woman named Mother Leeds. Born human, it transformed into a monster, shrieked, and flew into the forest. Over the centuries, sightings continued. In 1909, mass panic erupted, schools closed. Newspapers reported encounters, and hunters searched the woods. Whether demon, mutant, or myth, the Jersey Devil has haunted American folklore for nearly 300 years. Number 22, the Mothman, the Silver Bridge disaster in 1966. The town of Point Pleasant, West Virginia, was shaken by sightings of the Mothman. Witnesses described a humanoid creature with glowing red eyes and wings spanning 10 feet. For 13 months, sightings spread until December 15, 1967. Fore Bridge collapsed, killing 46 people. The sightings stopped immediately. Was the Mothman a supernatural warning, a mass hallucination, or a giant bird misidentified in fear? To this day, Point Pleasant embraces the legend, complete with a Mothman festival and statue. Number 1. The Hobbits' Homo floresiensis, not Tolkien's fantasy, but real, tiny humans. In 2003, scientists on Flores Island, Indonesia, discovered bones of a species nicknamed the Hobbits. Standing just over 3 feet tall, with unusually large feet. They lived alongside modern humans until about 50,000 years ago. Despite their small brains, they made tools, hunted animals, and survived in harsh environments. When taller humans arrived, competition likely drove them to extinction. But their memory may have lived on as myths of dwarves and little people. The Hobbits prove evolution's story is stranger than fiction. Number 20. Leviathan reimagined serpents and whale battles. The Leviathan is described in the Bible as a monster of the sea, tameable and terrifying. But the truth may be stranger than myth. Fossils reveal Basilosaurus, a 50-foot prehistoric whale that hunted with razor-sharp teeth. And in the Miocene seas swam Leviathan melville, an apex predator that may have fought the mighty Megalodon. Shark. Meanwhile, ancient sailors saw massive shadows moving beneath waves, likely whales or giant serpents. These encounters, passed down through generations, gave rise to the legend of Leviathan, a beast bigger than human fear. Number 19. Vampires, diseases that inspired horror. The vampire myth is universal, creatures of the night feeding on human blood. But in reality, these stories were fueled by disease and misunderstanding. In Europe, corpses often appeared with blood around their mouths, nails still growing, and sunken faces. Villagers believed the dead were rising. Medical science explains it. Decomposition creates illusions of growth, and fluids can leak from the mouth. Some real diseases also inspired legends. Porphyria, which makes skin blister in sunlight, and rabies, which spreads by biting and causes madness. Together, they created the terrifying myth of the vampire, part illness, part imagination. Number 18. The Hydra, a mortal miniature monster in Greek myth. The Hydra was a serpent with multiple heads, cut one off to grew back. A nightmare creature destroyed by Hercules. Science reveals a tiny creature that lives up to the legend. The freshwater Hydra, barely visible to the eye. This animal regenerates endlessly, effectively making it immortal. In labs, hydras have lived for decades without aging. To the ancients, stories of self-healing animals may have inspired the monstrous Hydra. It may not breathe poison, but its immortality is real. Number 17 El Silban, the whistling skeleton. In Venezuelan folklore, the El Silban is one of the most terrifying figures. The ghostly skeleton of a man cursed for killing his father, doomed to wander carrying a sack of bones. He's known for his eerie whistle. If it sounds close, you're safe. But if it sounds far away, death is near. His prey, drunkards and unfaithful men. Some say it's just a story to scare children, but locals swear they've heard the whistle in lonely forests, reminding us that myths don't die easily. Number 16. Ningang, the Antarctic mystery in the early 2000s. Japanese. Sailors reported seeing something strange in the Antarctic waters. They called it the Ningana Massive, pale creature with arms, a mermaid-like tail, and featureless face. Photos and blurry videos spread online, sparking theories of an undiscovered species. Skeptics say it's icebergs, whales, or hoaxes. But Antarctica is one of Earth's least explored places. Prehistoric sloths once swam nearby, and ancient sharks may have survived longer than we think. Whether real or imagined, the Ningen proves humanity's fear of the unknown is alive and well. Number 15. The Manananggal Philippine vampire, which in Philippine folklore, the Manananggal is one of the most terrifying beings. By day, she appears as a beautiful woman. By night, her body splits and half her upper torso sprouts bat-like wings and flies into the darkness, entrails dangling. She slips through windows, using her long tongue to drain the blood of sleeping victims, especially pregnant women. While it sounds like pure horror, historians believe these stories grew from fears of disease, childbirth complications, and nocturnal predators like bats. The Manananggal may be mythbound. She represents very real human fears of the night. Number 14. Baba Yaga Slavic Forest, which one of Eastern Europe's strangest myths. Baba Yaga is no ordinary witch. She lives in a hut, standing on giant chicken legs, flies in a mortar with a pestle, and devours the unwary. Yet, she's not. Always evil. Sometimes she helps, sometimes she curses. Scholars believe Baba Yaga was inspired by real wise women and midwives who lived deep in forests, using herbs and rituals that seemed magical to villagers. Their remote huts, raised on stilts to avoid animals, may have inspired the chicken leg house. Thus, Baba Yaga is part witch, part healer, part memory of women's society, feared and respected. Number 13. Siren Head Urban Horror, inspired by reality. Created in 2018 by artist Trevor Henderson, Siren Head is a modern urban legend in unnaturally tall humanoid with sirens for a head, broadcasting static and stolen voices. While fictional, it resonates because nature has created equally bizarre creatures before. The prehistoric Tully monster, with eyes on stalks and a jaw at the end of a trunk-like appendage, looked stranger than Siren Head itself. Humans fear distorted versions of familiar things, and Siren Head embodies that primal unease. It may be new, but it taps into the oldest terror shapes we can't explain. Sounds we can't escape. Number 12. The Indus worm, Arthroplura. Greek historians wrote about a monstrous worm in the Indus River, hunted for its flammable oils. No fossils of giant worms exist, but something close did crawl the earth. Arthroplura, an extinct millipede-like creature, stretched up to 8 feet long. It scuttled across prehistoric forests, armored and massive, dwarfing today's insects. It's easy to imagine ancient people finding strange fossils or hearing tales of giant crawling beasts and exaggerating them into the terrifying Indus worm. Number L. Silban, the whistling phantom. From Venezuelan and Colombian folklore comes El Silban, the whistler. A ghostly figure carrying a sack of bones, cursed to wander after murdering his father. His whistle follows a chilling rule. If it sounds near, you're safe. But if it seems far away, death is close. He targets drunkards and unfaithful men, serving as both a moral warning and a terrifying bedtime story. Even today, locals claim to hear the whistle drifting through lonely fields, reminding us that some myths never fade. Number 10. The Chimera. Genetics meets myth in Greek myth. The Chimera was a fire-breathing beast with a lion's head, a goat's body, and a serpent for a tail. Impossible? Yes and no. Ancient people often discovered fossil beds of mixed skeletons jumbled together, which could look like one monstrous creature. Today, science has borrowed the name. A chimera in biology is an organism made of two species, cute sheep hybrids, mice with human cell sieve, early human-animal embryo experimentaire, modern echoes of the ancient chimera. What was once fantasy is now science. Number 9. Dragons inspired by fossils and pterosaurs across cultures. Dragons appear again and again, fire-breathing in Europe, cloud-soaring in China. But where did they come from? Likely from dinosaur fossils. Giant bones of long-necked sauropods or fierce carnivores would have seemed like proof of dragons. And millions of years ago, the skies were ruled by pterosaurs like Quetzalcoatlus, with wingspans the size of a bus. Two ancient eyes, they were living dragons. The myth may not be real, the creatures that inspired it absolutely were. Number 8. Cerberus, Hell's guard dog, and real mutations. The Greeks feared Cerberus, the three-headed hound of Hades guarding the underworld. While no dog has 3 functional heads, nature does produce strange anomalies. 2-headed snakes, turtles, even dogs born through a condition called polycephaly. Imagine an ancient farmer stumbling on such a beast. With myth and imagination, it could grow into the terrifying guardian of the dead. The legend of Cerberus shows how rare mutations can become immortal myths. Number 7. The Mokolambem living dinosaur. Deep in the Congo Basin, tribes tell stories of the Mokolambembia river-dwelling creature resembling a sauropod dinosaur. Footprints, strange calls, and blurry photos have fueled cryptozoologists for decades. while mainstream science dismisses it, the Congo rainforest is vast and largely unexplored. Some suggest sightings could be of large, undiscovered reptiles or misidentified animals like hippos. Whether myth, mistaken identity, or miracle survivor, the Mothman keeps the dream of living dinosaurs alive. Number 6. The Mongolian death worm legends from the Gobi Desert. Speak of the Mongolian death worm, a bright red creature that spits acid and kills with electricity. No such worm exists in biology, but researchers believe it may be based on sightings of sand boas or other burrowing snakes. Still, desert fossils reveal terrifying prehistoric worms and arthropods, some longer than a human, add fear, exaggeration, and mystery. And you get one of the deadliest cryptids ever imagined. Number 5. The Kraken revisited colossal squid. We already met the Kraken as the giant squid, but recent discoveries make it even scarier. The colossal squid, found in Antarctic waters, dwarfs its giant cousin. It has rotating hooks on its tentacles and eyes bigger than a soccer ball, largest in the animal kingdom. These monsters hunt in darkness, and scars on sperm whales prove their violent battles. What sailors once called legend, science now confirms the Kraken lives. Just under a different name. Number 4. The griffin dinosaur, misunderstanding, half-lion. Hegel, the griffin, was a symbol of majesty in ancient cultures. But archaeologists believe the myth came from the discovery of Protoceratops fossils in Central Asia. These dinosaur skeletons had beak-like mouths and lion-sized spotties, perfect for inspiring griffin tales. Nomadic traders spread the stories, blending fossil discovery with imagination. Until the griffin became legend. Number 3. The direwolf Game of Thrones meets reality. Thanks to Game of Thrones, the direwolf feels like fantasy. But dire wolves were very real. Living until about 10,000 years ago, they were 25% larger than modern wolves. With crushing jaws built for hunting Ice Age megafauna, they roamed the Americas, often competing with saber-toothed cats. Though extinct, their bones and DNA reveal a predator worthy of legend. Number 2. The Titanoboa, the real-world serpent in Hindu and Norse myths. Giant serpents coil around the world, and 60 million years ago, one did. The Titanoboa. At 50 feet long and weighing over a ton, it slithered through South American swamps, crushing crocodiles and turtles. Its discovery proved snakes once grew larger than city buses. If ancient people had seen its remains, the myths of monstrous world serpents would make perfect sense. Number 1. The Megalodon, the ultimate sea monster. At the top of the list stands the Megalodon, the largest shark that ever lived, up to 60 feet long with teeth the size of a human hand. It ruled the oceans for millions of years. Its bite could crush a car, and it hunted whales with ease. Though it vanished 2.6 million years ago, still wash up today, fueling fears that it might still lurk in the deep. The Megalodon is proof that the scariest mythical sea monster wasn't fantasy at all. It was relearned, It was terrifying. So there you have it, 40 mythical creatures that really existed. From dire wolves to dragons, from vampires to megalodons, our world's myths are deeply tied to the bones, beasts, and mysteries of our past. Sometimes, humans misinterpreted fossils. Sometimes, they exaggerated real animals. And sometimes, the monsters were very, very real. Who knows what other legends still hide in the unexplored corners of our world?